It was a rainy morning when 7-year-old Sana lost both her parents in a car crash. The funeral was quiet, somber. A few relatives came, whispered condolences, and faded back into their lives. Left with no siblings or guardians, Sana's custody was taken by her father's younger brother, Rashid Sahib. He brought her to his old but grand Haveli in Lahore. The place was cold in nature, with towering walls and narrow hallways, but she was too numb to notice. His wife, Shagufta, wasn't thrilled, and their daughter, Kiran, a year older than Sana, seemed indifferent. But Sana tried. With her little hands and her tiny heart, she tried. She helped in the kitchen, cleaned her own room, sat quietly at meals, shared toys with Kiran, and slowly, she believed she belonged. But belonging, she would later learn, isn't just about sharing space, it's about being wanted in it. Time passed. Sana blossomed into a graceful, intelligent young girl. She was calm, observant, polite, the kind of presence that made people sit straighter. In school, she topped every exam. Her teachers adored her. Neighbors spoke highly of her upbringing. Even Rashid Sahib once smiled during dinner and said, "Sana reminds me so much of her mother. Same humility, same poise." Kiran smiled too, but her nails dug into the tablecloth. Sana had something she never could: quiet grace, unintentional charm, and the affection of others. When Sana turned 20, Rashid Sahib called a family meeting. He held an envelope in his trembling hands. "This," he said, "is your father's last will. It was sealed and stored with his lawyer. I wanted to wait until you were old enough." Inside was a revelation. Sana's father had left her agricultural land near Shaikapura, worth over 8 crore rupees. She would inherit it at 21. Sana sat speechless. Kiran gasped. Shagufta shouted, "What about Kiran? This isn't fair." "I'm just honoring a promise," Rashid Sahib replied quietly. From that day, the house that already felt cold turned to ice. Kiran changed overnight. No more smiles, no late-night chats, just silent glares, passive insults, manipulations. Shagufta began instructing the maid to skip Sana's laundry. Meals became smaller. Her share of allowances stopped. But Sana, as always, stayed quiet. Maybe they just needed time. Maybe money had changed things. Then came the twist: Kiran's engagement to a boy named Sean, a smart, charming MBA graduate with a good job and an even better smile. Sana congratulated her sincerely, but Kiran saw something else. She saw the way Sean looked at Sana: polite, respectful, intrigued. And that's when she decided, if she couldn't outshine Sana, she'd destroy her. One night, Kiran whispered her plan to Sean. "She's going to be a millionaire soon. Get close to her, earn her trust, make her fall, then leave her humiliated. She'll run, she'll leave everything behind." Sean hesitated, but Kiran was insistent. So he began. A small gift here, a caring message there. He'd help her with university books, walk her to the bus stop, ask about her dreams. And Sana had never had anyone care like that, not since her parents died. She fell, slowly, cautiously, deeply. The plan was working, too well. Because what Sean hadn't expected was that he would fall too. Sana's innocence disarmed him, her passion for law, her desire to help underprivileged women, her way of listening, it was magnetic. He tried to pull away, but the guilt crept in. Then one evening, as rain danced on the windows, Sean confessed. "Kiran asked me to play you," he said softly, "but I can't, because I've fallen in love with you." Sana froze. He expected her to cry, to scream. But she just whispered, "I need time," and walked away. Kiran found out 2 days later. She stormed into the living room while Sana and Sean were speaking. "You disgusting liar," she screamed. "You seduced my fiancé." Shagufta rushed in. "I always knew you were shameless." Rashid Sahib tried to calm them, but the house exploded in chaos. Sana stood her ground. "I did nothing wrong. You did everything wrong." Kiran shrieked. Then, a slap. Loud. Sharp. Public. "Get out of our house." Rashid Sahib, torn and weak, whispered. "Maybe it's best, Beta." Just for now. That night, Sana left. Barefoot. Alone. With just a small backpack and a heart full of shattered trust. The world outside wasn't kind. Sana stayed at a women's hostel. Worked 2 part-time jobs. Gave tuitions. Spent nights studying for her law degree. She battled poverty, rejection, and fatigue. But not once did she return to the Haveli. Not once did she ask for help. Years passed. She graduated with distinction. Got a scholarship to London. Came back with a master's in human rights law. Joined a reputed NGO. Led cases for abused women. Built a name. Built a new life. But she never forgot. Not the betrayal. Not the inheritance. Not the fire that was lit in her that day. 10 years later. The old Haveli was now faded, dusty. Rashid Sahib was wheelchair-bound. Shagufta was ill. Kiran unmarried. Sean had gone abroad years ago. And one morning, they received a court notice. Sana Khan vs. Rashid family, property claim based on will-dated XX. The storm had returned. When Sana entered the courtroom in her black lawyer's robe, people whispered. Some recognized her. Some didn't. But Kiran did. And for the first time in a decade, she was afraid. The trial lasted weeks. Sana presented documents, voice recordings, handwritten letters from her father, and legal proof of her inheritance. The defense was weak. Emotional appeals. No facts. One day, outside the courtroom, Kiran approached her. Take the land. Take everything. But don't ruin us. Sana looked her in the eyes. You ruined me when I was 19. I'm not here for revenge. I'm here for justice. There's a difference. Inside the courtroom, Rashid Sahib finally spoke. Tears in his eyes, he said, I failed you, Beta. I let fear and loyalty blind me. I'm sorry. Sana nodded. But said nothing. The judge ruled in Sana's favor. The Shaikapura land was hers. So was partial ownership of the Haveli. Kiran and Shagufta were asked to vacate within 6 months. That week, Sana stood at the Haveli gates, the same place she had once stood barefoot, heartbroken. Only now, she stood tall. Unshaken. She turned the front lawn into a free legal aid center for women. Hung a wooden plaque outside, some wounds don't bleed. They burn. But the fire doesn't always destroy. Sometimes, it forges steel. Sana wasn't just a survivor. She was a warrior. She didn't seek revenge. She brought justice. This was her story. The girl they tried to erase, who returned as fire.